Guys, I am incredibly excited again because we have another get to know content creator video for you today, and I upgraded because JayKey's just that special, right? Today, we are taking a look at JayKey. We're getting to know, it's not just your typical interview. We're not going to talk about Fortnite, and, well, we talk about Fortnite, obviously, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying like, we're not just going to spend time talking about Fortnite. It's literally about getting to know more about JayKey as a person. If you're new to these interviews, if you're new to the channel by chance, if you just clicked on this, this is all about getting to know more about the person behind the camera. For those of you who love JayKey or just want to listen to a podcast conversation between two people, I appreciate you being here either way, guys. Like I said, we're going to take a look at a conversation with JayKey today. I'm recording this video after I already spoke to him. It was an absolute honor. It was a great conversation. And before we do get into that, I want to ask you guys, please, I'm always open for constructive criticism over here on the channel. I have tested a lot of different things on how to make these interviews better. If there's something you do like or don't like, please let me know. I'm thinking about changing up the background. I'm here to hear you out. Thank you very much for being here. Sorry for the long intro. Let's get into the interview with JayKey. JayKey, thank you so much for coming.
Hey, Clen, how are you, dude?
I'm good. How are you?
Very, very good. And I'm very excited to do this as well. So
Me too.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine. Can you introduce yourself, share a bit of your background, and what inspired you to start creating content?
So my name is Jake, aka JayKey. I'm really comfortable with anyone like saying Jake or JayKey. A lot of people call me Jay online, but the whole idea with my name was basically just to have everyone nicknames me JayKey IRL, and I didn't want us to just do your standard JAKEY. So I was like, why not do just JYKY, just was a little bit different. I know it's not crazy different, but it was just something just to kind of have a bit of a play on the word. And then I remember my first original logo was a J with a key, so hence why there's the key at the end. But so that was my name, and that my background is that I have been in the gaming scene for quite a while. I used to play I kind of started off with Minecraft on my iPod Touch. It was that's kind of where the whole gaming thing started. And then I moved to Skylanders and, just all your normal typical younger games when you're a child and that. And then kind of came into when Fortnite first came around in Chapter 1. That's when I first started playing it. And it was Chapter 1, Season 3. I started playing Fortnite, and that's kind of where the whole game hook started for me, was when I first started playing Fortnite. And I remember I was like, okay, so I'm going to play this game, see how it goes, and just vibe with it with some of my friends. And I played Fortnite for the first, I think it was for 2 weeks, and I didn't like it. I stopped playing it. I was like, oh, this game's fun, but I just stopped playing it. And then a little bit after, when I think it was the first day of Chapter 1, Season 7 came around, I started playing it, and you know what hooked me? It was the Battle Pass. I didn't know there was a Battle Pass back then, and I started playing on the Battle Pass, and I was
how could you play Fortnite and not know there's a Battle Pass?
I don't know, dude. I was just playing with my friends, and I don't know why. Now I look back on it, it's so stupid. But yeah, I never realized that there was a Battle Pass. But if I knew the Battle Pass was then back in Chapter 1, Season 3, I would have kept playing all the way through. So I would have had some pretty OG skins. But yeah. It didn't really, I don't know, it just didn't click. And then so I knew the Battle Pass happened, and I was like, oh, why don't I have this Lynx? Why don't I have this Zenith? And they're like, oh, Jake, you got to progress through challenges and upgrade your skins and that. And I was like, oh, okay. And then from that moment forward, I was hooked on Fortnite, and I was hooked on gaming as a whole. And then that's kind of when my inspiration started for the whole gaming scene and content creation, because I started looking at people Camping Russia, Happy Power, Ninja, and all those other creators. And I just saw that they were creating all this Fortnite content, and it just looked so much fun. But back at that time, I didn't have the best PC. And I'm someone that always likes to try and do quality. I don't want to put something out there if I don't feel it's high enough quality. I set quite a high standard on myself. So back then I kind of held off for doing it. And then when Chapter 2, Season 3 came around, after I was a little bit more familiar with the community and all that, I started creating news content. It's not up on YouTube because I did private it, because it's a little cringy. But
why is it cringy? I don't think I've seen it.
I'm gonna link one to you after this. I'll link one to you and I'll show you. But it's just it's me. I used to edit in Filmora Pro, and it's me. I just explain all the leaks and news and that, and I wanted to shift away from that kind of community after a while, just because I felt like I was very limited to what could happen with news, because you'd have to wait for news to come out or wait for leaks to come out. So I just felt very limited, where the style that we could talk about a little bit later, but the style that I started shifting to, I found that you have more freedom and more creativity. So that's why I kind of stopped the whole leaking side on that. But yeah, so really Fortnite and just like seeing the content creating space is like where everything kind of like came in and just inspired me to start creating content really.
It's interesting that Fortnite skins is the one that really hooked you. You played in the OG
Yeah.
days, and then you didn't get hooked until Season 7 Battle Pass.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
actually hilarious. What skin did you like?
It was, I think it was both Lynx and Zenith, because I remember seeing that when I launched into Fortnite, they were on the cover art, and there was like Lynx with his hood on, and he had like the glowing claws, and yeah, Zenith that was, and then Lynx, she was like the cat with like her interchangeable colors that like ran through, and then she had like the red, the blue style, and it was just something about those skins, and it was like around Christmas time and that, and I think it was just I'd finished school. I think I just finished school that year, and everything was just like it was new and it was fresh, and those skins just really grabbed my attention, and I just love the whole. Back then, like as we all know, Fortnite don't really do progressive skins anymore. So back then, it was like I love to be able to unlock through challenges and progress the skins, and it was just that progression and challenges. Like I would stay up till challenges you would release at 9 p.m. weekly for my time. So I would stay up pretty much until I'd finished every single challenge, and sometimes I'd stay for like 2 to 3 hours completing them with friends. So I think it was just that initial grind and the completion of earning a skin or a style as an achievement just kind of hooked me like with Fortnite, and that's like where it all just kind of staggered from there and just stemmed off.
No, that makes sense, especially if you can kind of do the challenges with your friends, right? That
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stay those late nights. So, is there anything with Fortnite like specifically that kind of hooked you, especially in Season 7? Because there's a lot of people I know, and I talk about this all the time on my channel too. People say they like Season 7 and then they didn't, and then I'm sitting here, and I know you're the type too that to like all the fun stuff in Fortnite.
Yeah,
And what hooked you in Season 7? Did anything, or was it just like the friend thing?
So first of all, I'm gonna raise my hand because when you talk about like fun and like crazy things, I'm a mech enjoyer. So
Yes, me too. We've talked about this.
yeah. But in Season 7, I honestly think like the first hook was just the fresh feeling of Fortnite, because I'd never played a battle royale, anything like that. And like you said, it was definitely the friends, but I love the planes. And I loved Polar Peak as well.
Yes.
Like I remember like this is something silly, but I remember like jumping off Polar Peak, and I'd like trick my friends that I was like falling. And but during that time, glider redeploy, you could find like the little itemized glider redeploy, and I'd like pull my glider redeploy and be like psych, and I'd just like fly off into the distance and that. And then I think the planes what really hooked me. I just thought that they were a ton of fun getting on them with all of the friends. But yeah, friends and planes are probably what kind of drew me into like Fortnite for
Dude,
that.
I know exactly what you're talking about. When I talk about like my favorite seasons in Fortnite, that's definitely like I keep thinking like that must be a top 5. Plus, it must be special to you with like everybody has their first season that's a little bit of a special season to them.
It is. Yeah.
And that's
okay. Like with people in like chapter 2 that start like they're like, oh, we love chapter 2 season 3 because it was our first season. I think no matter what season you start in, you're going to enjoy it more because it's like a fresh and new experience for you.
Yeah, I know there's some like specifically there's one person from my community over on the channel that started in Primal, and whenever he mentions that he loved it, like because he started there and it's a special season to him, everybody's like, "How could you like Primal?"
Oh, Primal, no,
dude. So you're so right, but so I want to get back. We have more Fortnite that I do want to talk about, but you mentioned this is something that I was going to ask you, that if you did anything before Fortnite, you talked about was it Minecraft and Skylanders?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Were you like just making content there, be like, like that kid content that doesn't get any traction, or were they like legitimate solid YouTube channels?
So they were kind of like the kid content that no one would ever really see. So I had, I'll start off with Minecraft. So I used to watch like a lot of like Stampy, iBallistic Squid, Skydives Minecraft, Bayesian Canadian, Jerome, like all of those like, niche YouTubers back in what, 2014, 2013, around then. And I remember my friend, he had an Xbox 360 and he had Minecraft on it. And I had it on my iPod Touch originally. And I was like, oh, damn, like I really want to get the Xbox 360, because back then Minecraft was a lot more progressed on the Xbox 360 than the iPod Touch. So I wanted to get like, the brewing, the end, like all of those cool little features that the iPod Touch didn't have. So I remember for Christmas, I asked my parents if I could have an Xbox, and Christmas came around, and I didn't get it. And I was sad. And my mum and dad were like, "Oh, we didn't realize that you wanted it that much, because if they knew how much I wanted it, they would have bought it for me."
Mhm.
But so mum and dad put some money towards an Xbox, and I put like probably maybe $100 towards it, like just from like pocket money. And I remember going to the Target and buying the Xbox. Oops, sorry, sat home and I turned it on, and I was hooked from that day. So I used to I'd get my iPod Touch, and I'd stand it up like this, press record, and it would just be like my TV screen pretty much. And I
I
would just do
love
like
that.
these funny, silly little videos. I do have them somewhere, but I don't know where they are.
Oh, dude, I've done the
Um,
same thing, but I never posted them, and I still
yeah,
have them. They're like on one of my old phones somewhere. Where you stand it up, and then you guys, like, everybody always, like, I'm not obviously not saying that you're not funny
yeah,
or anything, but everybody thinks like they're
yeah,
the
yeah.
funniest people in the world, right? I think that we all had that phase.
That was me, yeah. I'll just make like these silly, like cringy little jokes. Like now, if I look back on it, I would laugh at it, not because it's funny, but more because it's probably cringy. So,
I don't know.
but
I don't know if I would do that. I feel like I just look back and like just smile at it.
yeah, yeah. It's back then, like I don't know, back then you don't really care about like anything about what people think and that. So you just tend to like do what you want to do because you're in like your own little bubble, your own little zone.
Mhm.
So yeah, I just went crazy. So I'd record stuff like tutorials on how to find like the desert temple and stuff like that.
I love that.
And then I'd play with my friends, and I'd just record like little just funny clips with my friends. Sean was one of my friends that we used to play Minecraft all the time. He would come over. When we moved to this house, like back behind me, there was a big cupboard with a TV on it, and I had like a bunch of like my Skylander figures because I had like lots of little shelves,
Mhm.
and I had my TV up on there and would play split screen Minecraft like up until like 2 o'clock in the morning. Would get in trouble, but
Oh, dude.
yeah, it was just the vibes. I
No,
loved it so
I
much.
get that, man. I've had a lot of split screen Minecraft experience back on the
Yeah.
Xbox too.
Yeah, like if I played it now, I couldn't. I hate split screen, but like yeah, back then it was just so much fun. Like, and that surreal feeling of like finding diamonds, like in Minecraft
Hmm.
back then, was just like we would literally just yell and scream and just like celebrate. And I had that somewhere recorded as well. But
I
yeah,
have
it
so
was,
many
it was just a good
videos.
time.
I have so many videos of my brother and I back in the day just destroying our friends' houses, and it's the funniest thing. And I haven't looked back on them since I recorded them when I was younger, and I need to do that, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
So,
so,
oh,
oh,
go
you
ahead.
go.
No, you go. Sorry.
Okay, so we had the Minecraft stuff, and then a couple of years later, when Skylanders first released, it was my birthday. It was around December, and I remember I woke up in the morning and I opened the Skylanders starter pack, and I was like, hell yeah, like this is really fun. And then probably like an hour later passed by, and I remember like having breakfast. I think I made like pancake. My mum and dad made pancakes for me or something. And then my dad walked in with like a big, huge like rubbish bag. I'm like, oh, what? Like, what's this? And he goes, oh, I forgot one more thing. Like, I was really grateful for the starter pack, and that's all I really wanted. And my dad tipped over the rubbish bag, and there was just like probably 15 Skylanders, like single packs of Skylanders, just all on the floor. And as a child, like my face was in awe, and I was like so excited. And I remember I used to do like record myself on my iPod Touch unboxing Skylanders, like from I don't know if people are familiar, but there used to be a channel called Skylander Boy and Girl, and they would have like unboxing channels and playing Skylanders. So I used to get my iPod again, and record me like unboxing Skylanders. I do have videos of that as well. But so yeah, that's kind of it was Minecraft and Skylanders is kind of where it started.
I love that. And then you went, and then from that you branched into Fortnite content.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I didn't really cover. I played other games up until then, but I never like branched out into the content side until I kind of hit Fortnite.
I get it. Well, I was gonna ask you this, and I might as well ask you it now. Do you like any other
Mhm.
games? Like, what is Fortnite? Is I'm assuming that Fortnite's your favorite game. Is Fortnite your favorite game?
Yeah, favorite like multiplayer friend kind of game. I love so it's kind of hard because I have these periods throughout Fortnite where I'm like, okay, like the game's getting slightly stale for a little bit, so let me like move on to another game. But besides Fortnite, like I love Rust is another really big game. I'm
Mm-hmm.
really into survival games, so I love Rust so much. I love it's a grind that game, but I love the feeling of building your bases, but potentially getting raided, but like you work and put all this effort into it, and then if you survive the wipe, like it's such a rewarding
Yeah.
feeling. So I love Rust, Minecraft again because it's like another survival game.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite, all-time favorite single player game is Tomb Raider.
Oh,
Absolutely love Tomb
I've
Raider.
actually never
Yeah,
played Tomb Raider.
so good,
I know.
dude. So
I
good.
hear amazing things about it, dude. It's so
Yeah.
good.
And it's rare for me because I'm more of a multiplayer dude. Because when
Mm-hmm.
I was younger, I used to just play a lot of single player, and I think I just like now playing multiplayer, I enjoy like just having that friendship group interaction. Hence why like I started loving Fortnite, because I could play with my friends.
And it's not only that, like anybody can play, right? That's the best thing about it. Is like the first time that I was like consistently playing with my sister, or people that don't have Xboxes, PC, crossplay, Discord's easy to get on for, even if you want to talk on a phone. That's the special thing about Fortnite.
Yeah. The gods are just ascending in the background. I'm sorry.
You're good. Were you gonna say something?
But yeah, so like Tomb Raider is like my all-time favorite single player game. Love a little bit of Assassin's Creed as well. But yeah, I'm always hooked on the multiplayer side of things.
I love that. So I want to talk to you about your channel at the moment, because it seems, from an outside perspective, it seems like you're still experimenting from your content. Do you think you've found your place yet? Because I know that you have like the new type of videos that you've been doing right now. You've been doing your news videos, and then you'll have a Lego video, and then your Twitter's full of Fortnite news. Have you found your space yet? Are you still experimenting, or are you just kind of doing a little bit of everything?
At the moment, so the idea, I'm kind of in the experimenting stage, but on YouTube, I'm kind of like starting to set it in concrete a bit more. On YouTube, I just want variety content, where not necessarily the news side of things, but more just like playing, doing challenges, having funs with friends, stuff like that. I'm trying to move like a little bit more away from the news and leaks side of things, just because I don't want to be restricted to content that's based on stuff that Fortnite releases. I want to be able to use my creativity to create different videos. So the Lego stuff, like playing with JoJo and tanks and all that, that's intended. Like, I do want that. I want it to be just a variety channel with challenges, trying out updates, new items, just to help promote stuff for Epic as well. So with that with the long form style of content like that, I try and put more effort into it. Like I try and do like a big flashy intro, then like have kind of like a story or something connected to it.
Dude,
and
the effort is there too. The effort is there.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate watching your content. You know what's funny? It's actually for the first time, and I'm sorry, I know he cut you off.
That's
for the first time, a very long story short, not interesting. One of my friends is doing some editing work, and he started editing some of my gameplay videos. And I literally, for subtitles, I sent him your video as an example. I was like, I want something like this. I like this.
Yeah. I was doing subtitles on my. I know we got off a little bit track, but I was doing subtitles for my videos. Like on my first video, which was I opened a lemonade stand of Fortnite. I was doing subtitles like every single word. And I realized how much of a pain that was. So like I kind of just highlight it for like the main moments to emphasize something. But yeah, like that was the lemonade stand video was the first like video that I started experimenting with. But that's kind of the whole goal, is just to experiment with different challenges and get the community involved. And I want like just variety on my channel. I don't want it just to be the same like boring thing. So like my Lego video, that did really well. That did well for me. It did like 14K views, which I didn't expect a Lego video to do that well, just because like Lego isn't. The niche is like kind of a bit iffy, Dude,
that's the way it works, man. It's crazy.
It is.
I just actually, for the first time, I had a short hit 1 million views, and
I saw that. Congrats.
Oh, thank you. But it was something that was so stupid and so simple that I was like, well, I have it. I might as well post it. And that's how it is. It's always the stuff that you don't expect, man. I don't know if you feel the same way.
It is. And do you know what? Sometimes it's the stuff that like you put less effort into as well. And it just like, I remember I did a short a while ago, and I didn't put that much effort into it. I got like 50K, 60K views on that. And then you do one where you grind it out for like a day or two or whatever, and it just like flops. But it's always the stuff that you don't think is going to do well, and the stuff that you put less effort into as well.
Yeah, literally. That video that I was just telling you about, it was me just reacting to a golf video. Golf. Like,
out of anything, golf.
Out of everything I've done since 2020, a golf video.
I love that. But yeah, like I said, it's just anything can really like pop off like that. When it comes to like videos, like for me, it's not all about at this current point, it's not all about the growth. I want to be happy with the quality that I put out. Like as long as I'm happy with what's going out, then, and if it does like, 100 views, 200 views, whatever, I'm still happy, because at the end of the day, I'm happy with the quality that I've given out to the community. So mine's always just quality over like statistics at the moment.
And you know what? The love for your videos really, really shows in there. And that's why like another reason I was excited to talk to you, because I want to dive into your mindset, and this is something that I should have talked to you about before getting in this interview, something that more people wanted to see, because there's a lot of people wanting to kind of get into the content scene, especially with Fortnite. So I've been asking people some questions about content, but you said you're more of an open book, so I should have mentioned that at the beginning, but I don't think it really matters that much, to be honest.
That's all right. Yeah.
But my point being is something that I always love talking about with your content is the passion is there. You can just see it. Like, you're happy with what you're doing, and you can tell that you're having fun in the game. You're not just making it to make it. It's really refreshing, especially in the Fortnite scene.
Thank you. Yeah.
So
when I create my videos, I always try and like, I want people to click on it to, you know, have a good time. Like, it's 2020, like, you know, in this era at the moment, like, I find that there's a lot of things going on, you know, like economy, like school, bullying, like there's so much stuff going on in the world. So I want people to be able to like click on my videos and kind of just escape that for a little bit, like just kind of enter their own little bubble and escape like anything that they're dealing with IRL. So that's why I try and be as happy and positive as possible, just to kind of make people kind of, you know, get that joy from the videos a little bit, just to kind of escape and just have a break from everything that they're probably dealing with.
do you ever rage at video games?
Maybe. Yeah, I do.
That's hard to imagine, dude.
Yeah. Okay. So when I was younger, I used to go like, I was quite a ragey kid. When it comes like not normally, but just like when it comes to video games, one of the times was so on my, I think it was PlayStation 2, there was a Ben 10 Alien Force game that I had, and I remember playing it, and there was this level, right, and there was this big dragon, and you had to try and defeat the dragon. And I kid you not, it took me like 7 tries to try and defeat this dragon, and I could not defeat it. And I got that angry, I got my controller and I like threw it at my TV. Thankfully, it was like one of the old like boxier TVs, so it like didn't do any damage. But my dad walked in and he goes like, "What's going on?" And I was just like yelling and screaming. And I remember he sat down with me and he got the other controller that we had, and he helped me complete it together, like just to kind of like calm me down a bit.
Oh, my dad, dude, my dad would have killed me if I threw a remote at a TV. I would have the complete opposite reaction.
I remember he yelled at me for a little bit because like he goes, "I don't want you to smash the TV, blah, blah, blah." But yeah, he sat down with me and he goes, "Look, let's complete it together." So I was very ragey back then. Now I do a rage occasionally. Like if I can't get something like, for example, like if it's like a challenge or something that's very simple, I won't throw a controller, but I will like just get a little bit like raged a bit.
Dude, that's so difficult.
Especially with survival games like Rust and stuff like that. Like if somebody comes and griefs my base, like I'm not gonna be like like that, but I'll feel like the rage slowly like building up inside. So.
Oh my god, are you a yeller? Or are you like a quiet, angry gamer?
I'd say a bit of both. It depends on on the situation, really. Like if it's something that like a teammate has done something stupid, like I'll be like, "Oh, why'd you do this?" Blah blah. I wouldn't say I'll yell, but I'd probably like raise my voice a little bit.
I get that.
But I'm the type of person that will like, I want to let it out so people are aware that like I'm a little bit angry or like why I'm frustrated, because I don't like to hold tension. I'd just rather like let it out and tell people. But
that makes sense.
It's very rare. It's very rare for me to rage. Like I don't do it all the time. So yeah.
Well, we'll have to maybe bring it out of you on Saturday. Yeah. Oh wait, when's this video going up? We may have streamed together.
Okay, yeah.
So moving forward, I want to talk about the loot lounge. Tell me the story behind that and why or if I'm assuming it's permanently closed down. Tell me everything about the loot lounge, how it started, how it finished.
So the loot lounge, I just keep seeing this. Is this bothering you? The light in the background, or is that fine?
Not at all.
It's not bad.
No,
okay,
no,
right.
You're totally good. It's a little. I can see the light, but it's not bothersome at all.
Let me just see if I can. Just mute. Oh, that is better. Okay, just muting.
You're totally good either way.
All right. So the loot lounge. The idea first came to me when I was watching. You were actually on Clark's 0 Point podcast, I believe, and I was watching your content at the time because I just love your discussion videos.
Oh, thank you.
And it's something that I was always wanting to do, but I don't know. I didn't want to go down that path because I felt like there was a lot of people that were already quite good at it, like you included. So
thank you.
What I was like, okay, I love you, how you do your content. I love Clark, how he does his podcast. So I want to try and do something very similar, but merge it into like the podcast style. So I remember with a group of friends, I was sitting there like brainstorming a bunch of ideas of like the name. I remember, I'm sorry if people hate AI, but I remember going to like ChatGPT and I was like, "Could you please give me some like Fortnite creative podcast names?" But Loot Lounge wasn't on there, so I didn't use it for the Loot Lounge name. And then I remember obviously, if you think of Fortnite, it's a loot llama. So That's like one of the more iconic kind of like looks on Fortnite. So I was like, okay, why don't I get llama and they have loot, so it's loot llama. So I did that, and I was like, let's call it the Loot Lounge. It's a lounge where you sit down, you talk. It's just a podcast. So that's how the name kind of came into the thing. And my branding's very revolved around like the crown. So I was thought, why not put a crown on a llama with like a little podcast mic in front of it?
And now
So that's how like the name.
you.
Yeah. Curse you, Discord. So that's how like the whole like idea of like the name and the logo came about. But I remember at the time it was like, I think it was around just before Fortnite Wild started, I believe. And there was like, that was a very controversial season. So there was like lots of discussion, lots of topics to talk about. So I was like, okay, we're doing the podcast. I had the name, had the idea, get a group of friends, sit down and just talk. I love talking about lots of Fortnite stuff. So I thought it would work out really well. And then my first video and the second video did pretty well. So I was like, okay, let me keep pushing. Let me do more of them. I started getting you on, Clark on, Friendly Machine, Snail, Keep Up Radio. And it just kind of kept evolving. And it was doing well for a podcast. Like some of them were like 2 hours long and they were getting like 600, 800 views, which I was very excited about. Again, when I was posting that, I wasn't overly focused on the views. I was just more focused on having fun, having a good time, just talking to you guys that were on. And it got to a point where I started, I have commitment issues sometimes when it comes to like sticking to a schedule. And that's that's kind of shown on my channel a little bit. And so at the time I had some holidays that I had to take, and there was just some IRL things with it because I was working back then, like an IRL job. And I remember kind of postponing some of the videos off a little bit. And then it got to a point where I was like, okay, I've got the podcast. I'm not, putting as much effort as I'd really like to in it. So I was thinking, okay, let's just potentially close it down, because at that time I was wanting to experiment with my content. And that's when I started doing like the lemonade video and all that. And I was like, okay, so I want to experiment and start doing fun challenge videos, but I don't want to have to commit to the podcast on the side because it's going to be a work overload for me. And because at the moment I already struggle with having like quite a lot on my plate, so I didn't want to like have that extra added thing. So I was like, at the time I'll just kind of drop the Loot Lounge. It was sad, and I didn't overly want to do it, but I just don't want to overwork myself where I burn myself out, because I do editing as a full-time job on the side as well. So editing, creating content, I'm always on the computer. So I just didn't want to have that extra added thing to it. And I felt like it was it was more of like a side project, the Loot Lounge. So it wasn't something that I felt like I didn't feel overly guilty about dropping, but it was just a decision that I had to make to drop it, just for like, just basically committing to too much and having too much on my plate, really.
I get that. And I wanted to ask you about the Loot Lounge because that's how I found you personally. You got me through work days, dude.
Thank you.
I don't know if I've ever talked about what I do, but long story short, I have a desk job most days, and I have another monitor, and then I would listen to Loot Lounge on Fridays. And then I was all happy to get on the Loot Lounge.
Yeah.
And you know what?
And that's when I met you as well. That's when I first met you.
Yeah, and it was the sad time where I was in my apartment building, and then the fire alarm kept going off.
Yeah. That was funny. That made good content. I love that.
Dude, I was so sad, and I was like, dude, if you guys don't know, if anybody's watching and not like never listened to Loot Lounge before, I was living in my apartment building, and I don't know if this has ever happened, but I was all hyped up talking to JayKey for the first time. We get online, and like 10 minutes before my fire alarm started going off in the building, they were doing tests. So it would just randomly go beep, like, and it was so frustrating. I'd have to mute myself. Oh, I felt so bad, but then apparently ended up being funny, so that's all good.
Yeah, it added the content, and I loved it. It made it like just, I don't know, just like when you're talking, dude. It was the worst timing, because every time you'd talk, you'd be like beep beep, and you're like crap, and you'd cut off mid sentence through your mic, and we're like, yep, Clen's fire alarm's going off again. Like we just knew.
And I don't think it's ever done that any other day ever. The whole time that I lived there. Honestly,
I think it just hated you, dude. It just wanted to like ruin you for the whole time.
Whoever owned the apartment building just hates the Loot Lounge.
Yeah, they were planning it. They had this red button that they were just like pressing to like do it.
So, do you think is the Loot Lounge done completely, or are you gonna? Do you have any plans? Are you open to just dropping one day?
I am. I'm open to dropping one. I'm open to bring it back. Just because it's shut doesn't mean it's permanently shut.
Okay.
I feel like when I'm at a time where I feel like I can take it on and do other videos on the side while editing as well, I'm more than happy to bring it back because I love discussions. So if I can just, the thing about the Loot Lounge, it didn't take much effort. I had to plan a schedule for it, but it's not like, you know, I had to do a crazy amount of editing. Like it was pretty much just cutting out some of the dead parts within it and uploading it with like a template with everyone's like profile pictures on it. So yeah, I'm always open to bringing it back. So
And even then, there's AI programs that'll just cut it out for you completely. All the dead parts. Exactly. But hey, you can't use AI. That's not okay. Never. Never.
Don't use it, guys. Come on, never.
So
it's bad.
This is also something that I wanted to talk to you about because I know that you do editing work, and you just mentioned that it was full time. I was gonna ask you if you worked outside of YouTube, or is editing your full time job outside of YouTube?
Yeah. So I used to. So in Australia, we have a big franchise called Harvey Norman, which is kind of like maybe your Best Buy, I think. It sells like a bunch of like electronic products, like TVs, fridges, computers, phones, you name it, they have it. And I worked there. I used to work at a main supermarket as a bakery assistant. That was kind of like my first job. And I'm somebody that I'll just go back to that. I'll go back to my first job and kind of like work my way up a little bit to get to the question that you said. But I used to work at a bakery, at a supermarket chain called Coles, which is kind of like our main one here in Australia. And it's not the Coles that Americans have. It's a different Coles. Yeah.
I was about to ask, what's the difference?
So this one, because your Coles used to sell like clothes and other stuff.
Yeah, we don't have Coles. So a popular thing for us to do is go to the States because Coles is so much better than anything in Canada. But but it's a lot of clothes.
Yep. So ours is just strictly food. Like you got your deli section, like you got your bakery, like it's just strictly food. It's just a supermarket. Like there'll be little knick-knack sections that might sell like birthday cards and stuff like that, but mainly it's just a supermarket food chain in Australia. So I applied for the job there, and I'm somebody that doesn't like to get up early. And I remember in my application there was like a time list, and it was like, oh, what time would you like to start? And my earliest was probably about 9 o'clock. I think I checked that. And I got the interview, and I passed I completed the interview and I got the job. And they're like, okay, so we're going to be putting you in the bakery where you have a 5 o'clock start in the morning, 5 a.m. start. And I'm like, yeah, great. Like I ticked 9 a.m. to start and you guys give me a 5 a.m. start. So I was like, oh, crap. And I remember I was nervous, dude. Like it was my first job and I was really scared. It's probably about 3-4 years ago now.
Wait, how old are you?
And I am 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know if you were like towards my age. I'm 26.
How old are you? 26. Okay, yeah. So I'm a young guy compared to you.
Gotcha.
But so yeah, I was very nervous. I think I had to get up at like 4 o'clock because I'd just like to have like an hour before I had to like start work just to like chill and get ready, brush my teeth, have a bit of breakfast and stuff. Started at the bakery at 5, and I honestly really liked it. Like it wasn't as scary and daunting as I thought. It was quite cool getting to see the process of like, obviously the breads would come frozen, you just kind of heat it up, but like we made the cookies from scratch, we made some of the pavlovas from scratch, like just a lot of different foods from scratch. And I quite enjoyed that process of like, having it as like a little bit of dough and then it comes to life and you get to package it up and put it on the shelf. It kind of made me appreciate the effort that's put into like supermarket workers and like how much effort they actually put into getting like the food on the shelves, especially in the bakery department. So I remember doing that for a while, and after the training, which was 5 o'clock start, I think they extended it and made it like 8 o'clock I had to start, so that wasn't as bad. And then they started pushing me to do morning bakes, which started at 4:30, and I was like, no, I really don't want to do that. I was like, I love the spot I'm in now, coming in at 8, finishing at like 4 or whatever. I was casual, so it wasn't always a set schedule. Sometimes I would be called in at like 3 o'clock, so I'd work from like 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. So it could just be like a short shift. And then it got to a point where I love my department manager, but the main manager, the boss there, I didn't really like him that much. He would never smile. It was so hard to get a hello or how are you today out of him. It was just, it wasn't a very positive place.
Those people I will never understand. I will never understand those people. And then I say this, I say this a lot on YouTube too, where it's like, I don't understand why people just can't go through life happy. We're like, oh, you're discrediting people going through stuff in their lives. Like, no, there's perfectly happy people. He probably got to work in some nice air conditioned car and he's still miserable. Like,
yeah.
Anyways,
like
continue.
He was just like the type of person that, he would have a joke every now and then, but if you like made him laugh and that, it was always, everything was just so serious. You could never like, he was just never a happy, bubbly person. And I am, and I just didn't really, I understand like not everyone can be happy and bubbly because, you know, there's stuff going on in the world, but he was just constantly like that and just always so serious. And my department manager, she was great. Like she was understanding if I ever had needed a sick day off, etc. Like she was really good. And it got to a point where she was leaving. This was like around November, December. She was leaving, and I decided, okay, I'm gonna leave because I got a job position at Harvey Norman, which was the big technology chain that we have here. And I was like, okay, it's perfect. Like, it's like a perfect time. She's leaving. I've just got this job offer. I'm gonna leave. So my friend actually, he started working at Harvey Norman, and he was like, hey Jake, do you want to come over and work with us? And I was like, hell yes. So I had the interview with the boss, and I got the job there. So I'd been working there for about probably 2-ish years. And that was a fun experience. I love that. I was a sales assistant, and I ended up becoming like the manager of the small goods. So that's like coffee machines, hair straighteners, blenders, like all this these small like technology appliances, vacuum cleaners, stuff like that. So I had to manage that area. And that was really good. And then it got to a point where, again, the boss, things just started to get a little bit out of hand with him. It was a lot of the work pressure was put on me. Like everything was up to me. At a certain point, I was cleaning, I was doing stock, I was getting all the customers. Like I loved it, but it got to a point where it was getting too much. And it also got to a point where I live in a small town, right? So a store like that isn't the most popular. So throughout the weeks, you'd find like dips in the weeks where you'd get like 2 or 3 customers. You'd be working like 8 to 9 hour shifts. So
Oof.
I'd be sitting there. Yeah, I'd be sitting there at the desk, like bored. Like I want to edit, I want to make content, I want to do other stuff, and I couldn't do it because I was just sitting here bored, and all these ideas were. It was a good brainstorming time. Don't get me wrong. Like it was great, but it was it's just started becoming a struggle, and everything was put on me. And if I needed a day off or take a sick day or whatever, it was always an issue. Where other people could do it and it wasn't an issue. So I remember I sent one text to my boss for one day that I couldn't come in, and he blew up and he was like, oh, okay, like we got to talk about your performance, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, I've done nothing wrong. Like my performance was great. Like I was hitting all the budgets, all like the benefits and everything. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's time where I think it was a sign, because at the time I was contemplating on quitting or not. And that was just kind of like the last straw. So I just said to him, look, I'm coming in. I'll obviously complete my final 2 weeks, but I will be leaving. And then the angel snail came down from the heavens, and she kind of was like, hey JayKey, do you want to like edit some stuff for me? And I was like, yeah, sure. So then I started editing for snail. I saw that she had a tweet, and she was like, hey, I'm looking for an editor. I reached out to her, and we were already kind of friends, and she was like, oh, I've seen your style, let's give it a shot. And then it just kind of stemmed from there, really. So I do full time with snail, which I really am so appreciative of her, and I just love editing for her. She has such a fun style. So
I wish I could say more, but I hear a lot about Snail. I've never talked to her, and I've just never come across her videos. But I hear such good things about her.
I love Snail. She's such a happy, positive, goofy like person, and I've edited before for other people, but the thing about her style, it's just wacky, silly, fun. She's always just having a good time, and I just love that like positive mindset and attitude that she has. Like, yeah, I have a lot of respect for Snail. Like, I just love her content so much.
Yeah, like I said, you're not the first person to say that. Every single time she comes up, like anybody, I've never heard anything even slightly negative.
Yeah, she's great. She's just amazing. And so I did long form video for her. So I think the first video I edited for her was the OG season. So that was at the end of last year.
Wait, did we cut off anything from that transition period, or is this a continuation?
No,
okay,
that's a continuation.
Cool.
Yeah. So I started editing the first video for her last year for the OG season, and then it just kind of stemmed from there. She had a couple of other long form editors that she would switch between, and now it's pretty much got to a point where I just edit her long form, and I also edit her shorts occasionally too. And then another also, do you know Swearing Clen? Have you heard of him?
Swearing? No.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought of swear words for a second.
So he's another Fortnite streamer. He's quite big actually, and Snail recommended him to me. So I do editing for him as well for shorts and that as well. So between him and Snail and that, it's quite fun, and it's I class it as full time. I probably earn slightly just a little bit less than what I did for my IRL job, but it's like still enough
Oh,
to, you know,
dude,
have to leave
you
it. So,
can't beat working from home. You can't beat it.
oh, it's
Like
great. I
there
love
was
it.
a little bit of a period in during 2020. I still don't know if that word's okay to say on YouTube. I know it was dicey for a little while.
It was,
The
yeah.
disease.
Yeah.
So what I do for my job is I order supplies for for a hospital in my area.
Oh, nice.
And
Yep.
during that period, there was times where I was going home and doing it, and I love it was so much better. I loved
It
it.
would
You
be.
can't beat working
Yeah.
from home, dude. It's
You
another thing.
can't. And I'm someone that's very antisocial, I guess you'd call it. Like, if I have to socialize, I don't mind. Like, I'm not somebody that's like super introverted, but I prefer to just be in my own little space doing my own thing. So working from home for me is perfect. Like, don't get me wrong, I love when I was working in retail, I love being able to like interact with people, and
Mhm.
you hear some wacky, funny, silly stories, or you meet some very interesting people. But I do like doing my own thing. I like to be in control of what I do, and
Mhm.
working from home and editing is like one of those things, you know. So, and
That's
the people that
another
I work
thing.
for are great.
That's another thing. You don't have to deal with any bosses, like especially like the
Yeah.
one that you've had to deal with,
Yep. Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: is there any other content that you are interested in diving into one day? If it's for another channel, if it's anything specifically like not with Fortnite, do you have any ideas? Are you open to anything?
There are, so like the idea. I've always wanted to do other channels, but again, like committing to multiple is very hard for me when I
Mhm.
can barely commit to one thing. So, I've thought about doing a Rust channel, where there's some content creators out there called like Frost and I'm blanking on the names, but Frost is the one that comes to my mind. And essentially, they do like this story cinematic style video where like you wake up on the island, and there's like voiceovers for it, like narrating like what's about to be ahead for the venture, and it's like pretty much like a movie.
Is
And
it
that
kind of like Red vs Blue back in the day?
a little bit, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I
yeah.
see. I see.
So the idea with that I really love, because I love being able to tell a story, and I like being an editor, and that telling a story is like a big thing of what we have to do. So that really like stuck out to me. So Rust was a big thing that I wanted to set up doing for a channel. And also Marvel Rivals. I really would like to set up a channel for Marvel Rivals. I've started up a
Hmm.
Twitter for it, but that's like in the betas at the moment, and like the big beta is going to be launching in like the 23rd, I think, of this month. So I would really like to record some Marvel Rivals content, which, if for the people that don't know, it's Overwatch but Marvel. So
Oh,
that's literally all it is.
I just played Overwatch for the first time the other day. Have you ever played Overwatch?
Yes, I have.
I
Yeah,
get the hype. I really enjoyed it.
I loved it. But honestly, Marvel Rivals, I don't know if people will probably disagree with this, but it's 10 times better. I love
Really.
playing as my favorite my favorite Marvel character in that Overwatch style. It's really fun. It's
I've
really
never
good.
played it personally, but
Mhm.
do you think like is I don't know anything about the content there too. Is it something that like you have enough content where you can keep making on it?
If it depends what niche you kind of stick out to. I was gonna do like the more news and discussion style, because I
Okay.
can't do that because I'm not doing that with Fortnite. I still like that
Mm,
niche, so I thought, why not do it for like Marvel Rivals?
I
So that's why I
see.
set up a news Twitter account for it. But
Interesting. Okay.
yeah, I think I might go out branch out to that. We'll just see how it goes first.
Yeah, I mean, tell me when you do it. I'll definitely just watch in the background,
Yeah,
give
hell
it
yeah,
some nice watch time over there. So I
yeah.
want to talk a little bit about YouTube in general because again,
Hmm.
like I spoke about earlier, a lot of people are either waiting to make content, want to make content, whatever they want to do. What
Yep.
advice would you give to somebody who wants to start in YouTube in general, and more specifically in the Fortnite scene?
Honestly, I think if you have an idea and you want to go ahead with it, don't think about everybody out here listening to you saying, "Oh, don't do this," or "Do this, do that." You just do what you want to do. You stick to your own feeling, your own gut feeling, and you push ahead and do what you want to do. Don't listen to other people around you. If you have an idea and you want to execute it in any way possible, a unique way, etc., you do it. I find that a lot of people in the YouTube space, they tend to listen to outside negativity or comments and that, and it kind of
Mm,
affects what they do. So I think that's, if you have an idea, if you have a feeling to do something, go ahead and do it, and just do what you love. Don't listen to. You don't have to follow a set guideline. You don't have to be like this person, or you don't have to be like Ninja or like Courage, or anyone like all the big people. Just be you, because for example, Snail, she did those videos with the little sticky boy, and it was like just a video that you'd never seen
man,
before. She was getting like the name wrong of Spider-Man, and it kind of triggered people, but
what's Sticky
it was
Boy?
So she calls Spider-Man Little Sticky Boy, and the way she blew up, she like purposely got stuff wrong about skins, and it like triggered people a bunch.
Oh my
And
god,
it was
that's
just
so smart.
yeah, yeah. So that's what made her like kind of stand out. So if she never did that, like she wouldn't be who she is today. So like that's why I always say like you go ahead and you do what you want, even if it's unique or just like you think it's stupid. Don't like just do it because it could make you like become the next big YouTuber.
Dude, that actually blew me away because that's genius. There's so many times where I see people coming up with like content ideas and I'm like, how has nobody thought of that? Because
Yeah,
that's actually solid. Dude, I gotta check out some of that. Is it long form content on her channel?
No, it's just short form on a. I think it's pinned actually on a TikTok. You can go like
Okay,
check it out.
I gotta check that out because that sounds hilarious.
Like she called Avatar Caillou because he's like bald and all that, and then she calls Naruto Naruto. Like it was just like silly things like that made people like it triggered people.
Dude.
So like they'd comment and then it'll just do like really well. So
the anime fans would get to it too.
Oh yeah,
dude,
yeah.
I
remember
I mispronounce skins by mistake sometimes, and that's enough to get people.
Same dude. That's what I was about to say. Yeah, I remember one time there was, I think it was the Naruto wave of skins, and I pronounced one of the names wrong, and I was getting flamed in the comments for it. I'm like, I don't watch anime, so like, but yeah, it was a genius idea that she did, and that's kind of like how, she grew. So that's why I always say to people, like, if your ideas like seem a bit far fetched or silly, wacky, or goofy, just do it because it honestly could make you the next like YouTuber.
And what could it hurt?
Exactly.
If it fails, who cares?
Exactly. Yeah. As long as you had fun doing it, like you tried it, you got it out there. So that's probably my biggest tip for YouTubers. Just listen to your own gut and don't listen to the outside comments and opinions. No, it's always good to listen to feedback. Don't get me wrong, but like in terms of starting out, always just do the direction that you feel is best for you.
That's incredibly powerful. So thank you for that. So I want to talk about your channel again. Do you have any goals for your channel as of right now, or are you just riding it as whatever the videos come, whatever the videos do, however it performs? Obviously, you want to do the best you can, right? But I mean, is there any specific thing that you want to end up doing?
Really, it's just I just want to keep staying consistent with content, especially long form. That can be hard because obviously, like I'm editing other people's videos and stuff, but I just want to be able to have a nice, consistent content that's a mix. I don't want it to be like a specific thing. I want it to be random, different, just so people can come for the variety. I do really like my biggest goal at the moment is probably getting monetized because I'm not monetized on YouTube yet. I'm very, very close. So I think monetization, like at the moment, is just my big goal in terms of like overall goals. Yeah.
Guys, if anybody's watching this far, you're obviously enjoying JayKey. Go over there if you are not subscribed. I promise you won't regret it. Dude, dude, if you're close, I would be itching. I'd be itching to get to it. Yeah. I have one of my channels that's almost there right now, and I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
But so I get that feeling.
I think if I I grinded it out a bit more and stopped like taking these little breaks, I'd probably almost be there. But I just monetization is my big goal, and including face cam in my videos. I'd like to try and do that. I do find it hard talking to like the camera directly, but I do want to include that in my videos just to give like a bit more of that personal kind of like feeling to it. So yes, it's kind of like the first time everyone sort of like sees my face talking like this properly. So, but yeah, I'd like to include face cam as well. So just a couple like little goals here and there. Thank you.
Sorry to cut you off there. We're proud to have it over here. It's odd how comfortable like you end up getting speaking to the camera, because my wife's even mentioned to it because I was just I was at a little get together with some friends, and I was talking to somebody who kind of just didn't really know me too well, but she's talking about like, oh, so you do. My wife's like, she's like, yeah, it's like he's talking downstairs to nobody. He's talking to his cam like he's actually having a conversation, and she's like, he laughs. It's so odd. But then like
from an outside perspective, like people looking at you, they probably think like we're crazy. So like people like next door, like in the room next to me, like my sister and my parents and all that, they're probably thinking like, oh, like what is he doing, But it's kind of like at the moment, like I'm just envisioning that this camera is you, so I'm like talking to you like this. But
it's different. Cool. Well, it's even better because like I can see you can't see me right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's odd that like the more you do it, you just get comfortable. It's I can't explain it. It's just strange.
It is. Yeah.
I want to still circle back to YouTube a little bit. What are your thoughts on the Fortnite content scene at the moment right now? Because a lot of people are calling it quits. A lot of people are saying that wrongfully that Fortnite's downfall is here. And there are a lot of people who are like getting tired of making Fortnite content. What are your thoughts on all of that right now?
I think at the moment, and I feel like it's a reoccurring thing, especially during the summer seasons, for like the majority of the world, not us because we're upside down, but a lot of the summer themed seasons, people they're out enjoying the weather, they're on vacation, holidays, whatever. And I feel like the Fortnite content every single year around this time of the year always drops. And it's always something that happens. And then people are like, oh, the game's dying. It's the end of Fortnite, blah, blah, blah. But then you get towards a new chapter when we get the events and the new seasons, and it just skyrockets again. So I don't think Fortnite's ever going to die. And I think the people that are quitting YouTube at the moment, like some of the bigger creators, it's more the fact that they're tired. They've been, grinding this game for such a long time. They've actually finally got to a spot in their life where, YouTube is their full-time job. So no matter what game or niche they go into, they're still going to be having that player base where, say, for example, someone like us, if we're a bit more of that smaller community and we try and branch off, it's going to be a bit harder to rebuild a new community. So if you've already got that existing community, it's easy to switch over. But I think it's just a reoccurring Fortnite pattern. There's always that real high and then it falls off and drops to that low. But I don't think Fortnite's dying. I think they've got a lot of stuff planned, and it's just one of those little dull, low moments that we do every year, that we get every year. And that's the same for YouTube content as well.
Yeah, I'm absolutely there with you. I want to ask you too, because this is something that I was just talking to Dagomi about because he's really into Unreal Engine. What do you think the future of content is going to look like? Do you think it's going to kind of stick around to what people are making now, or do you think that Lego is going to have its own dedicated little niche of YouTube? I don't mean to say little, I'm talking about its own separate thing where there's going to be a community of people just watching Lego Fortnite. Do you think it's the same thing for Festival? Then Fortnite's obviously going to keep adding things. Do you think it's going to be with Fall Guys or whatever else they decide to do? What do you think the future of it's going to look like?
I think it will be very different. I do think that the community is going to split out because there's already quite a big Lego community out there that focus solely on Fortnite Lego. Same with Fall Guys as well. There's already a community that focus on Fall Guys. At the moment, Lego's quite big. It's bigger than what I thought for the community. But just closing that, it's the sun comes out totally and then the clouds. But yeah, so the communities they're growing. If it's not a big part, but with Lego, I find when there's an update, you see more and more Lego creators kind of come out into the works and start to create more and more videos. So I think we'll get to a point where in the YouTube scene, there's going to be your BR, there's going to be festivals kind of hard because the copyright with the music. So I feel festival isn't going to be able to grow as much as people would like it to. But in terms of Lego, Fall Guys, and just anything in general, I do think there's going to be quite big niches for them, and especially UEFN, that's growing like crazy. And I think eventually there is going to be a niche strictly to UEFN and custom maps and all that, because that's just, I think UEFN will be the future of Fortnite eventually. And even we know that Fortnite said of themselves that they're going to go to UEFN for when they create new seasons and that. So I can see UEFN taking over quite a lot for a lot of the Fortnite content.
The way I see it is it's a long road for Epic Games to do. People act like it's so easy, and I wholeheartedly believe it's a future. I'm very excited for Chapter 6. Hopefully they have it all down by then, everything's figured out, but it's still going to be years before people are making their own Battle Royale game modes. And then 100%. I believe that we're going to reach a point with Fortnite where the Find It in Fortnite thing is going to continue, the Fall Guys, Fall Guys, for example. You're going to have Fall Guys come to Fortnite, literally. And I think that's awesome personally, but I think that it's going to reach a point where people get excited for people to make their own Battle Royale experiences, or not even Battle Royale, just any types of game. And you're going to find that within Fortnite. That's what I believe is going to be the future. But years down the road. So that's very interesting. Circling back. Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
I think Fortnite need to do that as well. Because if we are still playing the same Battle Royale with the same mechanics, people get bored, and you can already see that. Obviously, when OG comes back, people get excited because it's OG. It's that hit. People crave nostalgia, so people are going to love that nostalgia hit. But Fortnite is that game that needs to evolve and change, and not necessarily everyone's going to like it, but it's something that they have to just kind of put up with and be along for the journey, because Fortnite needs to grow and change in order for the game to do well. And I don't think everybody necessarily sees that way, but it needs to happen.
That's always how Fortnite's been. I don't understand the giant pushback that we're getting now. I understand there's some things in Chapter 5 that's been hit or miss, but I don't know, man. It's to be expected from my perspective, at least.
Yeah, I agree. So I think and that's with every game too. Every game's got to change and grow, or else they're going to fall off. And you've seen that with many games in the past too. So I think Fortnite, they kind of study the trends of other games and they realize that they need to change. And like you said, they've always been growing and changing. I just think now hitting Chapter 5, it's a bit more of that bigger change, getting Festival Lego, it's branching off. So people are, oh, big change, scary, so they try they start voicing their opinions, as you see on Twitter.
Dude, the ones that I don't get are the ones that won't even give it a chance. It's just
Yep.
metaverse bad,
Yep.
and they've never tried Fortnite Festival before. You know, that's just.
And I guarantee some people that try it, if the people that are hating, if they try it, they would probably enjoy it. Like a lot of people, they hate on stuff and they don't even try it, and they probably would enjoy it. Like just give it a shot. Don't hate on it.
Dude, I have friends in my real life. I don't know if you can relate to this. And before anybody gets the wrong idea, like I love these people with all of my heart. Okay, I'm not bad mouthing them, but I know people who refuse to play Fortnite unless it's Fortnite OG, and I know for a fact they would like the game as is. Do you have any of those people like, but they just won't try it? They refuse.
I do. Yep. I had some IRLs that quit because they were the exact same like that. Like it's crazy because when Fortnite OG come back, the amount of old friends, dude, that I used to play with, like they actually got me into the game back in Chapter 1, Season 7. They came back for OG, and then as soon as OG stopped, they just like left. It's like they just want that OG to stick around.
Did they not even try Chapter 5?
No.
That's what I'm stuck with this problem too. Like I'm like, dude, you won't even give Chapter 5 a chance. You just spent a month of pure hard laughter, and you don't even want to see if it continues. One game. It's like I know I won't like it. You don't. Nobody even knows what's coming.
Yeah, they were the same. Like I remember, like as soon as the event happened, and Chapter 5 was like kind of like loading up. Can you please give it a shot?
And some of my dog just came in. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
Hi. Oh my goodness. Ah! You can't see her. She's attacking me right now. Hi. Did you have fun? Did you have fun? My wife just took her out for a few hours. Hi, baby. Hi.
Oh, bless her.
Hi. Okay. You gonna let me talk? You gonna let me talk? Hi. Okay. I think I have a solid pet. I wish you could see her, but you can't.
I love seeing her in the background of your videos sometimes.
I love it. It's become a thing people comment on.
Yeah, it's so cute.
What's funny is some people think that behind me, which you also can't see, recently, like the past couple weeks in my videos, I've had like the little baby crib on my couch, and some people ask if that's for the dog. I'm like, I don't put my dog in this little thing.
That's so cute.
But I've tried recording some videos of the baby in the room. It usually doesn't work out. I try to get her when she's sleeping, and then she'll start like on just randomly.
Yeah. Is she good? Like, is she a good sleeper in that?
She's a fantastic sleeper. She sleeps through the night. Everybody's been telling me about, hey, we're just talking about Bryn. Okay. Okay. Love you. Okay. Sorry for that interruption.
Oh, that's fine, dude. That's all right.
What were we talking about?
We were just wrapping it up about like Fortnite evolving and changing. And
yes.
How people don't like. People like the OG and then stop playing it. Chapter 5.
I get that. Okay. Yeah, I don't think there was anything else to mention about that.
Nah.
And I had something else I wanted to ask you. Wow, this just stopped everything. Let's circle back to you. Okay. Let's circle back to you. Do you have any idea of when you want to call it quits on YouTube?
At the moment, no. Like at the moment, like I'm single. I'm not in a relationship. And I feel like I want to try and grow and achieve my dreams before I have to have like a commitment. So at the moment, I'm not, like I don't see myself quitting anytime soon. I want to go for the foreseeable future, and hopefully the future girlfriend as well. She puts up with it and she kind of like supports it as well. So yeah,
you're gonna have to find someone pretty special.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I'll ask you about that then, because that's interesting. So are you just keeping yourself away from relationships? What if something comes about that you're kind of just feeling?
If something comes about that I'm feeling, I'll probably jump at it. But for that, like, I'm open to anything. I'm that type of person that kind of like, I just want to let things come naturally. So if down the line, like a girl comes into my life and, I want to try and like make a relationship with her and stuff like that, then yeah, I'm more than happy to do it. It's just something that I'm just going to let happen naturally. I'm not actively out there seeking, I'm not like on Tinder and all these dating apps. So
I love that, man, because I believe more people need to stay away from that. The best kind of relationships spawn from that.
Yeah.
Because it's natural, There's that initial attraction, and it's just nice. So hopefully that comes, but it's always good to like sit down, focus on yourself, right? Because if you become the best person that you can be, then they will come.
Yeah, exactly. They will. Yeah.
What do you do? What do you enjoy doing in your free time when you're not making content?
Probably just hanging out with family and friends, really. I like to try and create new experiences and try and adventure and do new things. So yeah, just really hanging out with family and friends. I'm not the type of guy that plays sports much because when I was younger, I dislocated my knee. So from that point forward, now if I like literally if I go to run or do anything like that, like my knee has a chance of popping back out.
Oof.
It probably pops out like at least once a year. Thankfully, it goes back in, and I don't want to like go too much into it because it's like a bit gross. But yeah, it's just that's something that like I used to play soccer, a bit of hockey. I used to do swimming as well on that, but because of my knee, like I can't really do sports. So
You can't do swimming? You'd think that'd be easy on the body.
no, I do swimming, but like it's not like actively because like frog kicks and that with my knee. Like if it pops
okay.
out, it's not a good thing.
Well, that makes sense.
So, but yeah, so just hanging out with family and friends really is just the main thing that I kind of do.
I think that's the kind of the best thing that you can do is
Yeah,
build that bond. So this is something that I was excited to talk to you. And honestly, like one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to have you on, something that I really admire about you is how happy you always seem to be. And you seem to just wear your passions like right on your front shirt. Like if JayKey likes something, we're going to like, not necessarily like, oh, we're going to hear about it. But I mean, like you're not afraid to talk about it. Talk about that mindset.
Yeah.
So many people are kind of body in the sense where they don't want to, they're too afraid to share something that they love, even if it's a little bit unpopular. I'm not even saying that that's the case for you, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. I just think like if you have an opinion or like something you want to voice, just like do it. Like I don't really care about the hate. Like if I like something, I'm gonna let people know because like I feel like if you let that out in the world, especially like on Twitter and stuff like that, there are other people as well that share that passion and you can connect over that. Like it's insane. Like for example, I know it's not really necessarily a passion or I guess it kind of is like the Minecraft thing that I was just talking to you about off camera with the server that I've started up. I was voicing like my opinions about, oh, like I enjoy Minecraft, blah, blah. And I've created this huge community with like 20, 30 plus people that enjoy Minecraft. So it's like if you voice your opinion and, you know, have a positive like look on it, people are going to like be attracted to you for that. And they're going to like want to share that same opinion and you can make something special out of it. Like the amount of friends that I've met just from like, you know, being positive about a certain topic or just something like that. I've created so many friends and I find that if you're negative about it, no one's going to want to come to you because like you have that negative attitude. I don't know. I just like being positive. Like even like when there's a down situation, IRL, online, whatever, I always try and find the bright side of it and the best things out of it. And my mindset is things happen for a reason. So if something negative happens in your life, there's going to be a high kind of like following that. So yeah, I don't know. And that's just the way I've always been. Like I try and if my parents or sister or family are dealing with stuff, I always try and like enlighten them as well, because I just find this, you know, you only get one life, you only get one shot at everything. So you might as well kind of like make the most of it and try and be as happy and positive as you can. And I understand like you can't always be like that, but I try to.
I absolutely love that mindset. And I owe you a sincere apology right now. If you happen to just watch this back, I'm kind of all over the place. I promise you with all my heart, I was listening for anybody watching this. My dog's licking my foot, and I'm trying to... I didn't want to interrupt.
That's fine.
Sonny, baby, go lay down. I'm so sorry, JayKey. I promise I listened to every single word that you said, but it did not look like it on camera.
Clen didn't listen.
I'm like, oh my God, this is looking so disrespectful right now. Okay, baby, go lay down. Go lay down. Come on. Good girl. But anyways, I do love that mindset. Do you carry that same mindset into playing Fortnite? Because you seem to still enjoy like playing Fortnite all the time, even when I stream with you, and I'm excited to stream with you again. You just get the full enjoyment of playing the game.
Yeah, I do. Like even if like for at the moment, like I love this season due to the start, and I'm a little bit sad about, you know, how the nerfs for the vehicles happen. Like I just want a crazy hectic season, and it was like that until the nerfs happened. But
yeah,
I just try and like my friends, like they're like, oh, this season sucks, like I don't want to play it, but you know, if I'm having fun with the people that I'm playing, I don't necessarily care about the content that's in game. You know, I just want to play Fortnite to have a good fun time with friends. So if I'm having that experience, I'm going to be playing Fortnite. You know, it's not always about the content. A lot of the time for me, it's the people that you play with and the experiences like that you make playing with those people.
Absolutely. And I've always said like, you can have fun in any Fortnite season. It's just sometimes the seasons are better than others. I don't care what part of the game, even with the nerfs, I enjoyed Chapter 2 Season 1. Just depends with the people you were playing with, man. So I do love that mindset. Something else that I really, really loved, and actually I wasn't going to ask you about this, but I just thought about this now, is I can't remember where I heard you mention this. You might have mentioned it more than once, but a new Fortnite season's kind of like Christmas morning. I'm like, dude, I so share that mindset with you. It's amazing. And is there any way, I don't even know if you can, okay? I don't know if you can put this into words. Is there any way you could guide anybody to get in that same feeling? Because every interruption in the world right now, man. I'm so sorry.
Poor dude.
You don't have to be sorry about it. Is there any way you could guide people into kind of sharing that mindset? Because I still have that. I still get up and I'm like excited for a new Fortnite season. There's been a couple where I've had to work in the morning and I'm like, oh, I really want to play. But there's nothing better than coming downstairs. Like, dude, I wake up. I don't know what downtime is for you, but I wake up at like 3, 4 in the morning. I get a coffee, sit on my computer, try not to look at leaks. Been doing it the past couple times, but it's a lot of fun, man. So is there any way you could help anybody kind of share that mindset, or are people kind of a lost cause?
Before I talk about that, I'll just say that I feel sorry for you for downtime, because downtime for me is like 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So, but like events for me are like I think 5 a.m., 4 a.m. So that does suck. But for me, but I don't think you can really give anyone that, or like kind of give anyone that mindset, because I think that's just something that you got to kind of be like, I don't know the word for it, but say that I feel like it's just a trait that you have. If somebody, with some people, the magic of Fortnite just isn't there anymore. But it doesn't matter like if the season's crappy or it's we've just had a bad event, etc. No matter what, I always kind of like, I just tap back into like the chapter 1 days, when I first started playing in season 7 and then moved into season 8, and that there's just something about the transition between a Fortnite season. No matter if the season previous was bad, it just has such like a magical feel, and it's still there for me. But I don't feel like you can kind of like put that on anyone else. Like I think that's just kind of like a personal feeling, and some people just still have it and others don't. Like even an event for me, like, oh dude, like, because people are like, oh, you have to get up at 3, 4 a.m. in the morning for this event. Like, it must suck. It doesn't. It honestly feels so cool. Like, I'll sleep for a little bit and then get up, and I feel like a kid in a candy store. Like, it's Christmas morning again for me as well. Like,
that's it. That's how you described it. Kid in a candy store. That's what it was. No, dude, I so share that, man, and I don't get any sleep either, because typically, like, I try to work it around, so I end up having it off. But what I like to do is, because on Friday, it's Friday leading into Saturday for me, most new Fortnite seasons. And Friday nights, all the time, I'm watching fights either with my wife or with my family, and they go until like 1 in the morning. So then I'll go home, I'll sleep for like 1 or 2 hours, and then get up with a coffee ready for a new Fortnite season. And the getting up part is the fun part of it. I enjoy waiting for it, enjoy getting those first games. Do you do the same thing? And I always, personally, I've been playing with like the same squad at 4 a.m. for new seasons. That's something that's special about it for me. I never stream it, I just play.
Yep. I do have a strict group of friends that I play with. It might not always be the same people, but there was at least 1 or 2 people from that group that like we all kind of play. But it was hard for me, because I had an OCE friend group that I'd always play with, and they kind of left Fortnite when the whole mobile ban happened, because a lot of them were mobile players. So, and then I branched off into like, meeting a lot of people that aren't from OCE, which I'd play with, but on a new season day, I need to play with OCE people, because I just don't want the lag to affect like my first couple of games. So, and now thankfully I've met a huge OCE community as well that we're very close with. So I tend to play with them on season launches, but it's not necessarily always people that I play with, the same people, but there's always like 1 or 2 that kind of stick around that make it special for me. So
I get that. Let me ask you a little bit more about YouTube. Do you ever deal with any hate on YouTube? I feel like everybody's pretty positive. Does it ever come towards your way?
Yeah. On YouTube, not really. No, I don't think I've ever had any hate. Maybe in a couple of shorts, there might have just been like some negative comments. Like, there was one short that I did that it was like a reboot video or something, and some of it was slightly staged, I will be honest, because I was experimenting with some just with some different techniques in it. And people kind of probably saw that slight stage within it, and they were kind of like hating at that, which I understand. Like, people don't want stuff staged and that, but that was like only just like a one-time thing that I did. But YouTube's pretty positive. I think because I have such a positive mindset on things, people tend to not. There are people that will hate on it, but a lot of the community that I have at the moment is pretty good. But the Twitter, that can be a bit of a different opinion. That's a different story, because I remember one time, when Chewbacca released within the Lego Pass.
Yes.
I voiced my opinion saying, oh, I love these passes because I like to grind towards something. And then I got shut down for that. People are like, oh, you don't have a life. Oh, you're saying this because you're a content creator. You're saying this because you have no job, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I generally just like to grind and just like have an accomplishment inside of a video game. So like, Twitter's a different story like that. That's where I deal with a bit of like I wouldn't say
Yeah.
hate. It's just more people disagreeing, which can kind of turn into slight negativity. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Twitter's definitely the spot for that. That's for sure. Yeah, I get a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
I get so many people because I am one of the most positive. I would say I'm one of the most positive people in the Fortnite community. Honestly, with this
Yeah.
game, I
Yeah.
love it.
Agreed.
But
Yeah.
I get so many comments where it's like, you do not feel this way. You only feel this way because you're making videos on it and you want people to
Yeah.
watch. I'm like, can you not see
Yeah.
the passion, man? Come on. Like,
Yeah, yeah. And I see that quite a lot with people that it's like we're not allowed to enjoy Fortnite. It's like everyone must be miserable and hate on the game 24/7. And the people that like actually love and enjoy it, they get shut down for like enjoying it. It's like,
yeah,
seriously? Like, just
it's
let us enjoy it. But
it's super weird. So I want to circle back to your videos. We were talking about this at the beginning. Do you have a favorite video that you've done?
I could split this into two kind of like categories. Number one, like I love the Lego video with how well it did with view wise. And I love that video as well, not just because of views, but because it's away from the battle royale, so it's something slightly different. And I just like to, but if people don't know what it was I gave, I think it was like 5 or 6 contestants 24 hours to build something in Lego, and the
Yes.
strict criteria for it was it had to use the Japanese and medieval prefabs included, like in some shape, way, or form.
Mm-hmm.
The theme of it was like you could do whatever you want, but you had to use those prefabs. And this the whole process of getting all the contestants in. We had a group chat in on Discord, getting everyone in, talking to them, and watching them build and create and see their visions come to life within 24 hours. Like it was stressful for them because they had 24 hours, but it was just such a fun process. And then getting Noski, who's like a big OC creator, in, and we judged it. It was just fun, like getting to see people's ideas and creativity and explain why they might have made this statue or they might have made a hole in this build or etc. And I just love to I love seeing the creativity shine through that video. So that was quite a fun video. That's probably like one of my favorite ones. And then I really did like the one with Keep Up Radio where she controlled my games. She was
Yeah,
telling
that
me
one was
like,
good. I like
yeah,
that
she was
one.
telling me like, oh, you got to do this or you got to do that. And I don't know, I just had a lot of fun with her. She's such a positive, happy person. So I think they're probably like my 2 favorite videos.
I love that. So we're almost heading towards the end here. Everything that I want to ask you, I want to ask you back a Fortnite question. What is your all-time? You have to choose one. You have to choose one.
Okay.
What is your all-time favorite season and your all-time least favorite season in Fortnite history, and why?
My all-time... Actually, I'll say my all-time least favorite, then I'll say the best one to the end. So the one that I didn't like the most, I think it's quite obvious, was Wilds. Oh no, not Wilds. Sorry, my bad. What's the
Primal?
crap? Primal. That's it. Thank you. Yeah, it was Primal. I loved it at the start, but it just got to a point where the crafting mechanics started getting a little bit boring. Like they didn't expand on it. A lot of people that I played with as well started not playing, so that made me not have as many friends to play with. Just overall, I feel because it was a very slowly developed season, and it was just hard to kind of get through that. It wasn't necessarily like the overall theme. I thought the primal theme was sick. Like I thought that was a really, really cool theme. It was something that Fortnite had done different. Like they'd never done that before. You know, we had the wolves, we had the boars, and all the animals and that, which was super fun. And I did like the game mode. What was the game mode called that they released with it? It was like
Game
that
mode.
primal. Yeah, it was.
Oh crap! I know what one you're talking about.
LCM.
I know what one you're talking
like
about.
Stranded, or I don't know,
No,
something like that. But
that's gonna bug
maybe
me.
you had to go on the helicopter at the end, and
Yeah.
it like took you out. Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh my god,
It's not gonna come to us.
no. But yeah, that game mode was fun, but it was just the slow pace of the season that kind of got me a bit. And one that's a little bit controversial that is my least favorite season. But one that's a very close second for me was actually Chapter 2, Season 5, the 0 Point season.
I get that.
That is probably the season that I played the least on. I didn't like the Christmas event, and overall it was just a very slow season. I love the collabs that Donald was doing with like the 0 Point coming in, that would drop, but it was very repetitive. And so that was probably just like a close second for me for hated seasons. It's not that I hate them. It's just that I just dislike them more than other seasons. They weren't as strong for me, like personally.
Yeah, I always understand the hate for Chapter 2, Season 5. The thing that really saved it for me is I loved the flow of the gameplay that season. I loved the sand tunneling, even though it was disabled. But I liked the loot pool. It was just, the game flowed nicely for me. And then that, along with just playing with my friends, I had fun with it either way. But I do understand the people. Like, that was legitimately when Fortnite was like, hey, we're going to prioritize collabs this time around.
Yeah, yeah. Like
So
with Primal as well. I'm not hating it because like the rest of the community hated on it. It was just like personally, I just didn't have the most fun in that. And I base my preferences over seasons based on enjoyment. It's not necessarily the content that they add. It does have a factor to like people playing, which can like hinder my enjoyment. But it's just like who I'm playing with and just like the memories I create within a season. I feel
mm,
like Primal was probably the least of that for me.
that makes total sense. What about your favorite season? All-time favorite?
My all-time favorite season was Chapter 1, Season 8, the Pirate season.
8. That's a popular season.
Yeah,
I get that.
I loved it because you could say I'm a little bit biased because it was my first transition into a season from like season 7 because that's where I properly started.
Mm,
So it was my first transition, but just seeing like going from the snow and then seeing like this whole chunk of the map up on the top right hand corner change to like this jungle volcanic, it was just sick. I loved like the implementation of the biome and the changes. There was the cannons, there was the bowlers, and another awesome thing, we had the sick event with like the volcano erupting, destroying Tilted. But like towards the end of that season, we had the big map changes where they were digging out the vault. There was the runes flying all around the map. You had to do community challenges to interact with the runes to activate
mm-hmm.
the vault. Like there was just so much going on, and I absolutely loved it. It was so much fun.
And that along with the gameplay for that season being phenomenal.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So no,
yeah.
I agree with that.
And again, it ties back to friends as well. Like there was so many people that I enjoyed playing with that were on at the time. And just because I did a close second for the hated, I'll do it for my favorite. But another one that I really enjoyed, which was hated on a lot, and I know you're going to agree with me, Clen, is Season X. I love Season
Yes,
X so
yes,
much.
sir.
That was it was phenomenal. I love the mechs. I love that fear factor of when we first loaded up of the mechs like coming and destroying stuff. I remember a group of my friends and that we were hiding in Dusty. It was Dusty Depot because I had like reverted it. Hiding in Dusty Depot, and we were like scared because we could hear the mech like smashing all the containers around us. We were like, oh, like it was just so fun. And then when you were in the mech, that power that you had, oh, I loved it so much.
I will never get how people didn't find enjoyment in that. The scariness of like the mechs coming around. You could hear the stomping. There's nothing you can do but just stay out of sight. I loved that, dude. And you know what? People hated that, but they liked Thanos. Same feeling.
Yeah, I don't get that. Yeah.
Same feeling. I understand being frustrated by getting killed by mechs a bunch of times. I get it, but the chaos was fun to me. I understand it. Like I meant to say, I understand it from a competitive standpoint. I get that, but just in general, oh. And we never got a season like that again, ever.
No. And I love the rift zones too. Like every week we'd look forward to the rift zones. Some of them were unique, like we had the zero build tilted, which is like, you know, we didn't realize it would evolve into something else later. We had the Pandora from like the Psycho Bandit. There was the zombies and all that. And it just made it so unique no matter what, like when you'd go into those rift zones, it was a completely like just, it felt like it was so different because there was all these abilities or changes. Like the Moisty one had the prop changing. And my all-time favorite one was Starry Suburbs when the stars would come down, make that majestic sound, and then you'd get the weapons out of the stars.
This is why I love JayKey, man. This is why I love JayKey. We share so many Fortnite opinions, dude. Starry Suburbs is my favorite POI of all time. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, same, bro. Same.
Oh.
And do you know what I think I like most about it as well is when you'd enter the POI and it'd make like that humming, like, singing little chime.
Yes,
I loved it.
It was the greatest Fortnite POI of all time. It was I sometimes I convince myself that it's my favorite season ever. My favorite personally is Chapter 2, Season 7. But then I'm talking about Season X, and then I'm like, maybe that was my favorite season.
Yeah, it was a special time. Like I don't know. I think it was just the mechs, the rift, and the event as well. Like it was so special. Like Fortnite shut off, and it's like something that never happened before. There was just so many like game changing things that they implemented, and that's what I loved about it. And then some other close like favorite seasons for me would also be Chapter 2, Season 3. I know a lot of people didn't like that season, but I love that because I love the floods, dude. The flooding was just such a unique stuff is what makes me enjoy the seasons. The flooding was cool, and then I also really liked which was your favorite, Chapter 2, Season 7. That was just super fun with the mothership and all that. But yeah, so Chapter 1, Season 8 is definitely my favorite, but Season X is just closely followed.
Both incredible seasons, honestly. I want to ask you one more Fortnite question.
Yep.
There's a lot of change that a lot of people would like to see, okay? So I'm asking for one thing above everything. If you were in charge of Epic and you had one change that you could do, what are you implementing immediately?
Ooh, that's actually that's actually a really good question. Wow. I would personally love to see an LTM or a game mode that has interchangeable maps. Getting to experience all the old maps again, just within that game mode. And it doesn't necessarily have to, have the evolving story, because I love the way people like want OG Fortnite back permanently. I don't want that, because I like the nostalgia attachment that we have, and I love how the maps change and evolve throughout a chapter.
Yes.
But I would just like a game mode where we get some of the old maps that rotate every single game that you play. Nothing changes on it, obviously, like storyline wise, but we just get like what they were in that time, and they just rotate and change just for a bit of variety. I don't want it to affect the core BR, but I'd like it just to be like kind of like a little subtle like side part of it. So that's probably that, like interchangeable maps like that in a game mode.
Let me pick your brain for something, because you mentioned that specifically. I'm making a video, and I made this video a long time ago for anybody who is watching the channel. It's like the complete guide to fixing Fortnite, where I literally dive into absolutely everything that I would do to change the game if I was in charge. And I'm going to make a part 2 to that, because there's so many things that came in Chapter 5. Let me get your take on this, because I don't know if this is something that's ever feasible for Epic Games. I hate using this argument. I really do, because so many people use it in bad faith, but they are a $1 billion company, and I think they can do it. Okay? So I think it'd be cool, because I completely agree with everybody saying that if OG Fortnite was permanent, it would get boring. I wholeheartedly believe that. Have a calculator or whatever, or a percentage chance of something. When you load into a game, you have a 1 in 100, 1 in 500 chance of playing on the OG map. Whatever that is, because that would, first of all, you wouldn't expect it. You would get so hype when you get into that battle bus and you realize that you're actually on the OG map, and then you would play like you used to. You would try to live on that island for as long as possible, but you'd try to experience it. I always thought that would be really, really cool personally.
I've never heard of that, dude, but that seems like a genius. I love that idea. That would, honestly, I would be playing Fortnite just to try and get on that map and experience it. Like, you don't know the amount of people. Yeah, you don't know the amount of people that would be grinding just to play on that. It'd probably increase like the whole like joining and leaving like numbers a lot.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
people would be like, "Oh yeah, this isn't the OG map. Let's just back out." So that'd probably like increase that a lot. But overall, like that would be awesome. That's actually a really good idea. I've never heard of that before.
I thought it myself, actually. I always thought that'd be really cool. I always liked the idea of a mythic goldfish, man. I tried to catch it, and then it was kind of the same thing.
Yeah. No, I like that idea a lot. That's really smart. Yeah.
JayKey, this is everything that I wanted to ask you before we take off. Do you have any closing remarks? Anything you'd like to share? Is there anything you want to ask me? And I want you to do this. Some people are too nice to do this. I want you to plug in whatever you want to plug in, whether it's your Minecraft server, your channel, and the links for JayKey's channel will be in the pinned comment description down below. The floor is yours.
Okay, I'll just do like a couple of. I just want to like shout out everybody that supports me. Like Clen said, my links that will be down below on that. You choose to follow, you choose to do what you want with that. I'm not gonna like plug all my socials and that, but just thank you to everybody that like supports me and continues to like believe in what I'm doing. It just means a lot. Like even just a like on a tweet or a comment on a YouTube video, like just the smallest things for me just make it feel like an achievement. And I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful for the opportunity that Snail and all that have given me as well. And just meeting you guys and like people like you, Clen, and like all the big creators, like this space for me, like I remember when I first started, I was always look at YouTube, Twitter, and be like, oh, these people seem so cool. Like I'd love to talk to them one day. And half of those people I'm talking to and friends with now. So nothing's like a goal that you have is never out of reach. Like try and achieve it and accomplish your goal. But yeah, like Clen said, my socials are below. I have launched a Minecraft server as well. It's mainly for OC, but we do welcome like America, EU, anyone. If you're up for a little bit of lag, that is on my Twitter as well. So if you do want to have a bit of fun playing Minecraft while Fortnite's in that little, slight dry period, you can come over and have fun. But yeah, just thank you to everybody. And Clen, one thing I do want to ask you, is what made you want to do this series? Like, what was your inspiration behind this? Yeah.
I wish I had a long story for you, dude. I really, really wish I did. But I thought of the idea. I do a lot of, like you said, actually, you were doing a lot of brainstorming at work. I do a lot of brainstorming at work. I have a desk job for the most part. And I literally thought it'd be cool because the idea for the interviews, and this is something that I was going to get into on my other channel. I don't know how much you take a look at my other channels, but I have a channel that I am just as dedicated to as this one. I have a lot of channels, but there's two that I'm really, really dedicated to. It's an MMA channel, and what's popular in that is to get any fighters and just come and interview them. And I wanted to do that same thing. And then I kind of thought like, okay, can we change that up a little bit? And then I thought of the people that I've been kind of speaking to in the scene over here. And then I was like, okay, I was trying to think of evergreen content. I always try to think of evergreen content. And I always thought it'd be cool too. Like because so many people have so many dedicated followers. I think it'd be cool for a whole thing to get to know the person behind the camera. Why not make an evergreen interview like that? If somebody just wants to chill, listen to it in the background, it doesn't fall out of relevancy because we're not just talking about Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 3 right now. Plus, there's not a lot of opportunities that a lot of creators get. And I think it's pretty cool because I like it. What I do on my channel is I'm pretty open about a lot of things. The only thing that I keep private is my political beliefs.
Yep.
And I think it's pretty cool. Like you build a better connection with some people. Streaming, you kind of get to do that. But I always thought it'd be cool. Like if you're going to do some interviews, switch it up a little bit, then why not? And I don't want to say like, oh, yeah, like here's your opportunity. But like, I mean, like, I think it'd be cool to give the viewers an opportunity to get to know the person that they like to watch a little bit more, and not necessarily just about the content that they make on. I said that I didn't have a long story, and that kind of turned into one, didn't it?
I love the idea. Like that's why when you said, "Oh, I do want to do it," I was like, "Hell yeah!" Because like I like the approach. Like you still, you touch base on a little bit of Fortnite content, which is what most of the creators that you get on are, but at the same time, you kind of touch a bit more on that personal side, which I think is good. Like I said to you today, I don't know if I said it in the video or like before, but I'm an open book, so I don't mind like sharing extra stuff, and I want people to get to know me. Like so, this whole journey of this has been really fun. I love this interview.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for putting me on here. And just one thing I do want to like say, if anyone from Fortnite Festival is watching this, could you please add Tate McRae to Fortnite Festival? If people see my like Twitter and that, I'm a big Tate McRae fan, and I just really want her like in festival. So
you know what's funny is I didn't really know much about her until I followed you on Twitter.
Yeah, that's what Whitney said to you about radio. She goes, "You're like my Tate McRae news." So
yeah, dude, literally, that's the only reason why I know anything about her.
Yeah. You guys will be saying lots in November because I'm going to go see her at a concert, so I'll be like posting it all on Twitter.
That's hype. Good. And that's something that I admire about you, man. You have your passions, and it's amazing to see. Like, you just talk about it. I think it's cool. I think you have a cool mindset. I think you're a cool guy.
Like that's what my ult's for. Like I talk about like Pokemon, Funko, horror movies, like just stuff that I'm passionate for, and that's not necessarily like the side that you see to me about Fortnite. Because just because I like Fortnite doesn't mean I have other passions as well. So that's why like I use my alt to kind of like voice my opinions on other things I like, so people can kind of get to know me more. Hence why I love this as well. So yeah.
I'll drop that link as well for anybody watching, and if anybody wants to go follow. Is it more JayKey?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
that's what it is. I remembered. Good.
Yeah.
So is that everything that you wanted to plug in here?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I've got my package arrived, Clen, that I was talking to you about. So I'll send you some photos about.
I'd love to see it.
So yeah.
Anyways, JayKey, thank you very, very much for being here. And again, for anybody watching this, I'll say it because I have my own little outro as usual, but I'll say it. You can find JayKey down below. JayKey, thank you so much for your time. It's been an honor.
Thank you, dude. Thank you. Appreciate it so much. Thank you everyone for watching, and thank you, Clen.
That was an incredible conversation. We chatted a little bit afterwards as well, and I really like him as a person. Him and I share a lot of like, I love the dude's mindset. I love his passion. I really like, it was just an honor talking to the guy, man, getting to know him, and I'm very excited. For those of you who happen to be watching us on the first day, we're going to be streaming with him tomorrow. It's going to be an absolute blast, but like I said, for anybody watching this, it's like a day later, so that's not even really worth mentioning, is it? For anybody watching all the way through, might want to click off. And now I'm still yapping about it. But it was an honor speaking to JayKey. JayKey, if you happen to be watching this interview, I don't know really why you would, because you were part of it. I really appreciate your time. It's been an honor. Thank you very, very much. And guys, go show JayKey some love. He's almost at monetization. Even if that means go over there and just leave a couple of his videos on in the background, that's what I'm personally going to end up doing for him. And if he's that close, like, just push him over the edge, help him throughout his life. I think that's a really, really nice thing to do. And the content over there is fantastic. You don't even have to go on and just put a background video. It is such wholesome, valuable content. And like I said in the interview, you can just tell that the passion's there. You can just tell that the dude is a positive, wholesome person. And I think we need more people like him in the world. I really, really do. And I really respect him. I really like him. And I would say that, like, I obviously wish nothing but the best for him, but we're going to keep talking over the years, obviously. It's like not like it's a goodbye, JayKey. But anyways, guys, if you listened this far, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. If you want to continue watching the channel, I have an interview with Cyan up here for you, and I have an interview down here with the 0BR. You can check out one of those two. Thank you very much, guys. Again, I will see you later. Take care.